Hi, welcome to Gemstone Tarot, where I am discombobulated, definitely discombobulated, but I have self-corrected. So, I was looking at, God, I don't even really know what I was sort of doing. I sort of do. I was in the Moon Diary, which, you know, is my source of what day it is type stuff, and I thought I was reading for Friday the 20th, which is, of course, so many things, like spring equinox, sun going into Aries, Mercury going direct. And always buy a silk scrunchie, by the way, they're really good. And I'm not, because it's actually Friday the 13th today. So there. I know. I was almost reading for the wrong week. But I'm not. I've pulled it back. And here we are. Okay? Moon in Capricorn. Yeehaw. Love me a moon in Capricorn. And it's in Capricorn all day. And we are having the other half of the weather almanac. I'm never going to say that right. So there. And we talked about Snowdonia. Do you remember? The 129 millimetres of rainfall. Yes. Since the Met Office began naming storms, and I quite like the way they name storms, in 2015. So I can't believe they took that long to name them. There have only been 3 named in March. Storm Jake in 2016, which brought strong winds to the southwest of the UK. Storm Freya in 2019, accompanied by strong winds, coastal flooding and snow across the northern Pennines. And Storm Gareth. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Storm Gareth. Storm Bruce. You know, it's got a real kind of buy you a pint in the pub kind of feeling. Storm Bob. That'd be quite good actually, Bob. Powerful winds and heavy rain to Ireland and Northern Ireland initially, before spreading across Britain and into Europe. When the sun does come out, I think this is why I thought it was the equinox. This is when March feels most spring-like, as the increasing heat reaching us from the sun becomes a bit noticeable this time of year. The warmest March day on record was on the 29th of March in 1968, wow, when temperatures reached 25.6 at Meppel in Cambridgeshire. This example teaches us not to get into a false sense of security though, as spells of very cold weather are still possible. Just a few days after the temperature record, a cold front swept southwards, bringing bitterly cold Arctic air and snow into many places. I have remembered it snowing in March twice actually. So while it can be variable in terms of the weather, March can typically be relied upon to have the coldest sea temperatures. This is because, due to high thermal capacity of water. In other words, it takes ages to heat up, in comparison to air, which has a low thermal capacity. Another thing you can throw around at your pub quiz. I tend to find that the sea has a high thermal capacity and air has low thermal capacity, does it not? Certainly something to keep in mind if you fancy a dip in one of March's milder days. I never do. Weather word, and I always get these wrong, fierce mild. Oh, fierce mild, that's the weather word. A fine warm day. But it's in Irish, and I can't really do Irish. And so it is fierce mild. That's as good as I can do. It sounds good in an Irish accent. It sounds ridiculous when I say it. It is fierce mild. That just sounds, because Irish is very lyrical. So there we go. So it is. Nice. Itchy nose. So I'm not going to use the tarot that I was going to use, because I was getting all excited about using my spring tarot. Because I was like, and I can't even find what I've done with the box now. Itchy nose. What have I done with the box? Oh, God. Well, nope. I'm just going to put them there and I'm going to search for the box later. And we're just going to play it safe and use the smelly. No, we won't use the smelly. Let's use the sparkly, the disco tarot. I'm going to use the disco tarot, otherwise known as the disco tarot, because I haven't got the box. This is where it all starts to come apart. At this end of Mercury retrograde, I'm afraid, it just is... just is. Some of you have been putting in the comments about the various things you've done, like knocking your car in the drive and some scaffolders. Yeah, that's news from the street. Some scaffolders. They didn't actually come to blows, but I thought it was going to. I know, I heard raised voices, and so I had to see what was up. And I went and stood out in the street in my leopard print sort of slipper sandals. I know, it's very sort of Ina Sharple's Coronation Street jobbo. And anyway, there was like, one was in one van and one was in another van, and they were arguing through the windows of the door. It was getting very spicy. They were clearly related, so cousins, brothers, that kind of thing. And what Dad would think was thrown around a lot, and all kinds of obscenities. It was brilliant. And I thought they were going to actually grapple in the street, but they didn't. So yes. Okay. Yeah, I am taking reversals. Say that now, I'll probably completely regret it. It is what it is. What do we need to know? Oh lordy. I bloody knew it was going to do this. I'm just going to check that. Of course it isn't all in reverse, it's just we're getting all reversals. We just are. We just are, and we will take it on the chin. Oh, Smokey's back. Leia's on the bed, by the way. You can't actually see her because she's disguised. In the middle of where that sunbeam is at the end, there is a Leia. You might hear her snoring. Cutest snore. Right, okay, let's deal with this casserole of nonsense of a reading that we have in front of us here. Oh God. So we've checked that they're not all in reverse, and we'll think, alrighty, okay, furry muff, we'll do that. Let's just put them where you can see them. Remember that this is like a sample deck, so some of them have borders and edges and some of them don't, which of course I am thrilled with. And I'm going to let some sun in. Well, it's not sunny, but because we may get, we do, look at that, just some decent glitterage. If that's not a word, it's becoming one now. Now look, we have the King of Wands. How are you doing? Chicka chicka, doo 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 doo, with Page of Wands. Come on, do me some glitter. Kind of. Oh yes, that'll do. Yay! Woohoo! We're missing the Knight, but even so, bloody hell, even the signifier card's in reverse. Swing. Are we going to get some good glitter out of that one? A little bit there from where the boots are. Look at that. Yes. Schling. Right, let's do this one first. This is Two of Pentacles, Jupiter in Sagittarius. Major glitter now because the sun's coming in. Diddle-doo! Sorry, I'm completely distracted by the glitter. This is the trouble. Diddle-diddle-doo! Oh, now they're all glittery except you can't see much else. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Trying out new ideas is not recommended today. Dancing with a glitter ball definitely is. Because this is when Jupiter tries to experiment within the confines of Capricorn. And usually that's a good thing, but it's in reverse. And it's saying, just don't do it. Just don't go there. Okay? I chose visibility over glitter. It's a tough call. These two cards are saying similar things. When you have the King of Wands, who's a very active person, it's like, yeah, come on, let's do it. Everybody's doing it. Get behind me. Let's go. You know, and the Page of Wands, who's like, yeah, let's do it. Like a sort of puppy. Caution, they're in reverse. Now, this one. Oh, a little bit. Six of Swords. This is moving from one state to another, one situation to another, moving out of one thing into another, getting away from something, you know, making passage mentally, physically, probably both. And yet what we have here is the Six of Swords is in reverse. And when the Six of Swords is in reverse, it's saying you can't really get out of this at the moment. You know, if you're frustrated, if you're thinking, I really want to X, Y, and Z, there's kind of a reason why you can't. Or even if there isn't a reason why you can't, you still can't. Then we have the Queen of Cups, and we've been talking a lot about intuition. And we had the King and the Queen of Cups at one point. Look at me own glitter if it won't do it on the camera. But this is very much, never mind about your intuition today, never mind about your hunches, never mind about the dream you had last night and that you think it's the right time, blah, 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 blah. No. And also in keeping with that, we've got Smokey, who you've explained to me as somebody who used to tell you not to have forest fires. There we go. Let's see Smokey in the upright. There he is. There's Smokey. Smokey is the Emperor in this deck, which I think is lovely. But he's also in the reverse. So if you think about the Emperor is all about taking charge, getting out there, having your say, making something happen. No, I'd say quite the opposite. I'd say keep quiet, stand back, observe, don't make a move. It won't get you where you think it will. And it might get you somewhere you didn't know that isn't somewhere you want to be. I could have put that better, but I probably don't have it in me. You get the point. Stand back, do nothing, observe, wait, but don't actively wait. Just, I think the young ones say chillax. Well, maybe they did in about 2005. Anyway, leave me a comment and I will see you tomorrow. Namaste.